By this point, we've built a framework for how to solve these polynomial equations. Now we're going to take a look at what happens when they get a little more complicated. Well, as it turns out, all we have to do is simplify. Simplify your equation, get everything on one side, then it'll all become stuff that is familiar to you. For example 1 here, we see here that we have a parenthetical. The logical thing to do is to use the distributive property. So we'll get 2x squared plus 8x equals 3x minus 3. Then, as with what we've been doing, we want to clear out one entire side. And we want this term to be positive. It already is, fortunately. That makes our lives a little easier. Now I'll just subtract 3x from both sides. I will add 3 to both sides. And so I'll have 0 on one side, and the other side will have all the information I'll need. Remember, you can combine 8x and 3x. You get 5x. Then you have plus 3 is equal to 0. Then you can factor this. As you know, when I factor, I use the product sum method. In this case, your product would be 2 times 3, which is 6. Your sum would be 5. You need two numbers that multiply to make 6 and add to make 5. 2 and 3 will do the job because 2 plus 3 is 5, and we have a match there. So when you factor, you simply split the middle term. We'll have 2x squared plus 2x plus 3x plus 3. And then we can factor 2x out of the first two terms. You get x plus 1. You can factor 3 out of the last two terms. You get x plus 1. And then you get 2x plus 3 times x plus 1. We know this equals 0. If we know this equals 0, we set each factor equal to 0. 2x plus 3 equals 0, or x plus 1 equals 0. We solve both of those, so I'll just subtract 3 from both sides here to get x alone. 2x equals negative 3. I divide by 2. And we see that x equals negative 3 halves. As for x plus 1 equals 0, I'll simply subtract 1 from both sides, and I get x equals negative 1. So remember, we have two possible answers, and we have now found both of them. Example 2 is very similar. For example 2, we begin by using the FOIL method. If you use the FOIL method there, you get 6x squared plus 2x minus 9x minus 3 still equals negative 8x minus 1. Again, we want to clear out one entire side. That can wait, though, because we need to combine our x's. 2x minus 9x is negative 7x. Minus 3 equals negative 8x minus 1. Now we do what we did with the last problem. We'll move everything to one side. So I'll add 8x to both sides. And then I'll add 1 to both sides. We get 6x squared plus x minus 2 equals 0. Again, you can factor this without much difficulty using the product sum method. Our product, again, is the first coefficient times the last coefficient, which is negative 12. Our sum is 1. Two numbers that will work here are negative 3 and 4, because negative 3 plus 4 is 1. And so we'll have 6x squared minus 3x plus 4x minus 2 equals 0. I'll factor 3x out of the first two terms. I get 2x minus 1. I'll factor 2 out of the last two terms. I get 2x minus 1. We factor by grouping. We get 3x plus 2 times 2x minus 1 equals 0. Again, we set each parenthetical equal to 0 and solve. For 3x plus 2, of course, we subtract 2 from both sides. We get 3x equals negative 2. I divide both sides by 3. And I get x equals negative 2/3. As for 2x minus 1 equals 0, I'll add 1 to both sides. I get 2x equals 1. I divide by 2. And x equals 1/2. And again, we have now found both of our answers. So our two answers here are negative 2/3 and 1/2. So you see, this is exactly like what we've been doing. The only difference is you have to do a little simplification first, but once you do, it's just all the same stuff as usual.